Hey guys, what's up? So yeah, I just finished 100 heads. Really hyped about this. It was a long journey. I didn't think that when I started it would be such a hard task. I thought that I would knock it out in a couple of days. Uh, how wrong I was. So I really started this just to get better, faster, and just stop drawing the same face over and over and over again. Drawing that woman or man that has square jaw, perfect nose, nice eyes, and with a blank expression on the face. So I hope that it's pushed me a little bit. In fact, not I hope, I know that it's changed the way that I think about a head when I'm creating it from memory, and it also has changed the way I look at heads when drawing them from reference. I tried different techniques here, drawing them fast, drawing them slow, drawing them in a painterly style, being very constructive. And it's always going to be personal to whoever the artist is, but I learned that I need to slow down a bit, even when I'm going fast, and be really conscious about where I'm putting my lines, and to build up with the three core values of shadow, midtone, and light, because the images that didn't have the contrast in were definitely the images that weren't interesting. They look flat and boring, and yeah, that I draw foreheads too small. Definitely learned that lesson. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did get pretty sick of this challenge at some points in it. But you know what? I think it's really good for you to be able to get sick at something and push on through. Luckily, I started doing a Twitch stream for this. I thought, I'll start streaming and I'll do 100 heads. It can be one of the first things I do. And I think without those people there keeping me company and hanging out and just being generally awesome, I'm not sure I would have been able to complete it. I'd have probably got sick around the 60 mark. I mean, you can see here that I've just rushed through some of them, and that brings me to another thing. Like on some of these, I would spend 10 minutes, and on others, I would spend an hour. And I mean, especially when something was going wrong on one, I'd try and fix it. And I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I'd set myself a time limit for each one, and then stopped the second the time got to the end of the buzzer, Like when the buzzer goes off, I stop drawing completely. I think this would have made me a faster artist, because I realized I am slow, and it'd probably make me think about the art more, and I regret not doing it. Now, one of the biggest things for me was to get a range of expressions, more than different ethnicities or anything like that. I just wanted to study expressions, because drawing those dead faces, when you've been drawing them for years and you're like, oh my god, why do I keep on doing it? And the reality of it for me is that I haven't been drawing enough expressions from reference. When I'd go to life drawing, you're drawing somebody that's sat there just pulling a blank expression, and you don't usually look at the face. When you're drawing life drawing, you just don't. You draw the body because that's what you go for, And when you're drawing people's faces that or people that will sit for you, they don't sit there with an expression on their face because you can't hold an expression for a long time. So this was a really good exercise. It was a really good exercise to try and analyze what people's faces are doing when they're happy or sad or angry or excited. The different angles of the eyebrows and the subtleties of sadness. And I think another thing is how the skin contorts on the face with your age. If you're old, then you will have cracks everywhere. And the skin is different with an old man. Depending on his life, you can have skin that ripples like leather. But on a young woman, you don't have any of those skin lines. Maybe a couple on a smile on the edge of the mouth. And just the cracking of skin. And the jowls that form on men and women. And just how surprisingly big old men's ears get. I think it's observations like that you learn from things like this. Yeah, I definitely feel a lot more confident now about drawing different expressions just from my head. I think I already had a pretty good understanding of facial anatomy. Doesn't mean that some of these drawings weren't god awful. And as you can see, just through 80 to 87 here, I just rushed through them. Like, I wanted them over at that point. On days where I'd do 20 heads all in one, with the ones that I just wasn't enjoying it, and I'd say to people that doing this, if don't rush it, take your time and try and enjoy it, because I definitely learned a lot more on the days where I was enjoying it, and yeah, that might just be me. And I remember starting this page fresh. I sat down, this wasn't on stream, and I just watched some films. I took my time and I enjoyed it, and yeah, I had a change of setting, and it was really nice. I think if you go and sit in the same place every time to draw, it can be a bit stifling maybe. And yeah, all in all, this whole process took 58 hours. 58 hours, I was like, it's a lot of time. Having said that, a lot of that time was probably taken up talking to the chat in Twitch, and yeah, I definitely ate a couple of meals in that time, but I really do think there was progress, especially on these last ones. I took my time on them, and they're just better than my first ones that I took time on. The construction's a bit faster, and I just think they're better to look at. I don't think they're leaps and bounds better, but in the scale of things, 50 hours isn't a massive amount of time to learn. And something I've got to tell myself is, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and it takes a long time to get up to that master level, and it's just a thing of just keep on doing these things and keep at it. Anyway, that's it for the video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to do all the stuff, subscribe, like, and notify yourself if you want to, or if you don't want to, or whatever. But yeah, thanks for stopping by and watching the video.